brought to you by Duncan Hines Cake Mixes. Duncan Hines, always an adventure in good eating. And now let's all play What's My Line? And now, live from New York, let's meet our What's My Line panel. First, the young lady who is currently starring in The Apple Tree, the Broadway hit, Miss Phyllis Newman.
Thank you. It's my great pleasure to introduce a very talented and very witty man. He opens next Monday in Dennis, Massachusetts, in The Odd Couple, Henry Morgan.
It's my pleasure to introduce a very talented and very witty woman who opens next Monday in nothing that I can think of. But her name is sufficient to carry anything. Arlene Francis.
Oh, that I didn't know.
That was nice. And now, one of the main reasons Mount Kisco is the best place to be on a summer weekend. The Count of Monte Kisco, Bennett Cerf.
Well, it's my pleasure tonight, as usual, to introduce our disgustingly articulate Master of Ceremonies. He's just back from his favorite Tilton school up in New Hampshire, and he tells me that last night one of the townsfolk came staggering in.
What time does this show go on?
May I finish, Henry?
I was hoping you would.
I won't bother. John Charles Banks.
Well, actually, it's a good story, so I'll finish it. If you don't mind, Henry, that is.
No, I got all night.
So the rest of the story is, I don't know as we have, though. The rest of the story is the man went home at 4 o'clock in the morning, and Bennett, you fix me if I'm wrong. And his wife said, "What are you doing coming home at this hour?" And he says, "For breakfast." Right? But, well, we've got some interesting occupations. And we're going to also have a famous mystery guest on the panel a little bit later in the show, but now let's meet our first contestant. Will you enter and sign in, please? Judith Danielsen, right, ma'am? And is it Miss or Mrs. Danielsen? Mrs. Danielsen, where are you from?
Jamaica Estates, Long Island.
Long Island, Jamaica Estates. Ready, Mrs. Danielsen, may I present the panel? Now, will you come over here, please, and I will let the audience in the theater and the audience at home know exactly what your line is. All right, panel, we can tell you that Mrs. Danielsen is salaried and deals in a service. And we'll begin with Mr. Morgan.
Ma'am, the service you deal in, does it have to do with, everybody?
Yes.
Men, women, children?
Yes.
Could.
Well, she says it does. Does it do them good?
Yes.
Do you, when you deal with these people, do they come to you?
Yes.
Do you have an office somewhere?
Henry, I think we have to give you a no, because if we were to agree it was an office, it would mislead you. It would not be called an office. Arlene?
Is there anything instructive about what you do, Mrs. Danielsen?
Yes.
Do you teach something?
Yes.
Is what you teach musical?
No.
2 down and 8 to go. Bennett?
Mrs. Danielsen, when you are teaching this thing, are you working for a profit-making organization?
Yes.
Is there anything that you teach that has anything to do with feats of strength or dexterity?
Sometimes.
Might it be a form of self-protection that you teach?
Yes.
Would it be either judo or karate?
Yes.
Well, actually, I must say it's actually a mixture of both.
Yes.
I think Mrs. Danielsen works for an outfit called Jukate Inc.
Jukate.
You know, and which is a breakdown of judo and karate, and teaches only women and youngsters. You don't teach men at all,
No.
right?
No.
And this all has to do with knowing where their weaknesses are, and you don't have to be strong for
No,
it.
not at all. No. Just vulnerable areas.
Could you toss John right over your shoulder?
Yes, but I wouldn't.
Now, I could make it worth your while if we could get Bennett out there, you know. But you have a prize, not a prize, I guess it's a mark of achievement.
Yes, I
haven't you?
have a black belt.
A black belt.
Jukate.
And that is just about as good as you can get, isn't it?
Well, you can get better. We have, it all depends on the degrees, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 7th, 8th.
But if you have a black belt, this means you're an expert.
Pretty good.
Good. All right, Bennett, as Mrs. Danielsen comes by to say good night, duck. And thank you very much, man. Nice to have you with us. We'll have another contestant for you in just a moment after this word. And now to meet our next contestant, will you sign in after you've entered, please? Harry Ball. Right, sir? Mr. Ball, where are you from?
Florida. Orlando, Florida.
Orlando, Florida. It's nice to have you with us. Mr. Ball, may I present the panel? Now, will you join me over here, sir, and we'll let the audience in the theater and the audience at home know exactly what your line is. All right, panel, we can tell you that Mr. Ball is self-employed and deals in a service. And we'll begin things with Arlene.
Thank you. Mr. Ball, does your service have anything to do with living things?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you work with an animal of some kind?
I do.
Is it an animal that stays on the ground as a rule?
Usually.
Does it slither?
No.
No slither. Doesn't even do the Watusi. That's 1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mr. Ball, if it doesn't slither, we can eliminate then snakes and alligators. Is that correct?
That's right.
Is the animal that you deal with then a domestic animal as in preference to a wild animal?
That's right.
Is it a four-legged animal?
Yes, sir.
Is it an animal that is ever used in transportation?
Could be.
By that answer, can I eliminate the horse?
No, actually, Bennett, I think probably misled you there. So
You said
don't
could be.
eliminate the horse.
It is a horse that it's horses that you deal with.
Yes, sir.
Now we have to find out what you do with it.
That's what you got to find out, yeah.
And you do this in Orlando, Florida, Mr. Ball?
Yes,
Can it be
sir.
done in Orlando, Florida?
Well, he does it there sometimes. This does not, if you want to inquire as to whether he moves about a good deal, we'd be happy to entertain your question.
Can I eliminate the whole business of horse racing?
No.
I can't. Well, then I get a no.
Yeah, I think we have to give you a no there because you said eliminate the whole business of horse racing, and we got to give you a no. That's 2 down and 8 to go, Phyllis.
Then the horses that you deal with have something to do with racing?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Do you have anything to do with the breeding and raising of horses?
No.
3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Morgan.
Well, then, Mr. Ball, do you have something to do with training of horses?
No, sir.
4 down and 6 to go, Arlene.
Do you, Mr. Ball, do anything to the horse?
Yes, sir.
Would you shoe a wild mare?
No.
Are you a horseshoe expert?
5 down and 5 to go, Bennett.
Now, Mr. Ball, you do something to the horse.
That's right.
Is it, since it's not horseshoeing, can we eliminate the horse's legs?
Yes, sir.
Is it above the horse's neck that you do it? I don't know where I'm going with this.
Don't go backwards.
I've eliminated the part from the neck up. Is that correct?
No, you eliminate everything from the neck down.
Down.
Right.
Has it got anything to do with the horse's mouth?
Yes, sir.
Do you make bits or sharpen their teeth or do something to the inside of a horse's mouth?
Yes.
A horse
Yes.
dentist.
Certainly.
A horse dentist?
Yes. Mr. Ball does extractions. He files down the sharp points and he levels off the teeth so that they have a good bite.
Excuse
And
me.
he's been traveling.
No, how many teeth does a horse have?
A horse has 40 and a mare has 36.
Women always get the short end of the deal.
He travels about 75,000 miles a year.
That's right.
Treats 2,000 to 3,000 horses, depending on the year. He's been doing it for 26 years, travels all over the country. And 13 years ago, he was sitting right next to me on What's My Line, and Arlene and Bennett, you were both there.
Oh,
And,
really?
yeah, that's one reason we were so happy he could come back.
Arlene and I were younger then.
You were younger then. Are you trying to suggest that your teeth didn't need care then, Bennett? Huh? Yes, sir.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Could I ask a question?
Please do.
Mr. Ball, is it true that 13% of the horses have 42% fewer cavities?
But that's only because they're always on the ball.
Oh, my.
Nice of you to come back and visit with you. Wonderful to see you. Oh, good to have you back again, sir. Thanks very much. Nice to see you. We'll meet tonight's mystery guest in just a moment, but first, this message. Now, the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery challenger, for which, as you all know, the panel is blindfolded. Our blindfolds in place, panel?
Yes, sir.
Good. Will you enter mystery challenger and sign in, please? All right, panel, as you know, different form of questioning this time. One question at a time, in turn, moving clockwise, and we'll begin things with Phyllis Newman.
That was an extraordinary reception. Are you somewhat of an institution?
I will, if I may, answer that question and say certainly yes. Mr. Morgan.
Are you a male institution?
See. Miss Francis?
Well, are you making a picture here in the East?
Yet.
Yes.
Mr. Cerf.
Well, there's a great big all-star baseball game coming up. Have you got anything to do with the sports world? No?
9. That's 2 down and 8 to go, Miss Newman.
Are you tall and wildly attractive?
We. Mr. Morgan?
I didn't, fella, you're tall and wildly attractive? I really, I couldn't hear the answer because of the Are you President Johnson?
9. That's 3 down and 7 to go, Miss Francis.
I don't care who you are. I hope you stay forever. Are you Rock Hudson?
Yes. No, that's 4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Are you in something other than the entertainment business?
Yes.
We can't hear
Miss
the
Newman.
answer.
He is.
Are you
Yes.
just the most adorable mayor there's ever been?
C. No, that's 5 down and 5 to go, Mr. Morgan.
What are you doing about the trouble with the buildings up... Wait, I may have the wrong guy.
Yes.
Are you the mayor of New York?
That's no. 6 down and 4 to go, Miss Francis.
Oh, dear.
Are you indeed in government?
C. Mr. Cerf.
Oh. Do you sometimes, on the side, make a record or two? Are you Senator Dirksen?
Elected to the House of Representatives in 1932, to the Senate of the United States in 1950, and in 1966 made his, I guess, your first recording. Of course, not the first one for national distribution. It became an instantaneous hit. And in 1967 has made another recording for Capitol Records. Man is Not Alone.
Man is not alone.
And knowing a bit about Washington and having had the joy, if I may say so, sir, of knowing the senator since 1937, when I first went to Washington, I know that he feels that one of the problems that we all suffer from these days is a malaise of the spirit. And Man is Not Alone is a return to some of the values which, as a boy, he learned and knew in Illinois, which he thinks will help all of us.
That's right.
And I think with you doing the record, sir, it's got to be inspire a lot of people. Wonderful to have you.
John, I try to make it so.
And wonderful to have you. And I must say, you're such a wonderful sport. You had as much fun here as we did while they rocked Hudson all over the place and mayored all over the place. So good to see you again, sir.
My best to be good.
And I think Arlene and Bennett will agree, is as bright a moment as we've had on What's My Line in 17 and a half years.
He got a bigger reception than Casey Stengel got.
He got a bigger reception than Casey Stengel or Rock Hudson. Well, you've done very well, panel. We'll have another contestant after this word. Good. Because there's one thing that comes out of that last exchange. Bennett now will be walking around saying that he's tall and, what was it you said, Phyllis?
Wildly attractive.
Wildly attractive. Bennett Cerf, tall and wildly attractive. What a dreadful thing to say about Bennett. Well, now let's have a final contestant. Will you enter and sign in, please? Bob? Yeah, that's it. Bob Gustikoff. Oh, all right.
Bob what?
Where are you from, Mr. Gusikoff?
I'm from New York.
From New York.
New York City.
Nice to have you with us. Mr. Gusikoff, may I present the panel?
How do you do?
Now, would you join me over here, sir, and we'll let the audience in the theater and the audience at home know exactly what your line is. All right, panel, we can tell you that Mr. Gusikoff is self-employed and deals in a service, and we'll begin things with Bennett Cerf.
Mr. Gusikoff, is your service performed for human beings?
Yes.
Both sexes?
Yes.
Sometimes for children, possibly?
Yes.
When the performance of this service, do you touch the people in any way?
No.
Nope. 1 down and 9 to go, Miss Newman.
Do you have anything whatsoever to do with music, the world of music?
No.
2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Morgan.
Bob, do you consider yourself in any way a teacher?
Yes.
There's an element of that, but this is tangential to his principal function, which we're here to identify.
Uh-huh. Well, then can I assume that what you do is helpful to people?
Yes.
Does it... Now, I think Miss Newman establishes men, women, and children. Do you help them to... this is sort of dumb, but are they happier when you have attended to them?
The supposition would be that if they're there to...
I was hoping for a yes or no.
Well, you're probably not going to get one, so hang on. The supposition is if they seek the service that they will be happier as a result of having had it, yes.
Mm-hmm. Bob, is what you do more in a mental area than a physical area?
No.
3 down and 7 to go, Arlene.
Do you move around quite a bit in your work?
Yes.
Sort of leaping and jumping and that sort of thing?
Yes.
I'm nowhere, you understand, but I just thought I'd ask that because you came in very gingerly, so you moved around on your feet very lightly. And you don't show people how to box or anything like that. No.
That's...
No, but I said you don't.
No, that's right. The double negative is an affirmative. Yes, indeed. You caught me right in the open. Yes.
Is what you do done out of doors?
No.
That makes it 4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Sir.
Now, did I hear you say, Mr. Gusikoff, that music
Bennett,
is...
may I? Okay, sorry, Bennett. I just wanted to straighten out something. Thank you. Go ahead.
Did I hear you say that music is no part of the work that you do?
That's correct.
But you do jump around indoors.
Mm-hmm.
That's correct.
Would this be any form of exercise or athletics?
That's correct.
Is it athletics rather than exercise?
Yes.
Is it some kind of a game that you play inside?
Yes.
Is there a ball in the game?
Yes.
Is it ping pong?
Yes.
Got it. Mr. Gusikoff is a professional ping pong player, table tennis player. He's been U.S. champion and Canadian champion, and he does exhibitions. Matter of fact, you're going to be doing one in one of the clubs.
Yes, at the Vanderbilt tennis
courts.
I have the Chinese.
So he really knows how to play, and he's going to play with the Chinese who are supposed to be the best in the world, right?
Right, that's right.
Thanks very much, Mr.
Thank you,
Gusikoff. Nice
Mr.
to have you with us. And so, Phyllis, nice to have had you with us again, and good night, ma'am.
Thank you, John. Nice to be here. Good night, Henry.
Good night, Phyllis. Good night, Arlene.
Happy playing in Dennis.
Thank you,
Good
dear.
night, Bennett, dear.
Good night, John, my boy.
Yes, sir. Good night, Bennett. And thanks to all of you for being with us on What's My Line?
What's My Line is a CBS Television Network production in association with Mark Woodson and Bill Cotter. With Francis Gown from Bonwit Teller. This is Johnny Olson speaking.